Today's lesson is lesson 5, and we're doing Greece. Our next stop is just one more short plane ride or long train ride away. Athens is only 735 miles away from Bucharest, and you will find multiple options to travel between these two destinations. I can't wait to visit this ancient land that has so many connections to our modern Western culture and so much history and interesting things to uncover. Greece is one of the most well-known ancient civilizations, but I'm sure we can learn something new on this adventure of ours. Some quick facts about Greece is its population is 10.4 million. Its government type is parliamentarian democracy. The size of the country is 50,965 miles. The capital city is Athens. The official language is Greek, and the landmark is the Acropolis. Have you ever heard the saying and thought, where on earth did that come from? Or why do we say that? The phrase takes the bull by the horns is the one of these sayings that seems to sort of make sense. But why do we use bull? We often use it when we are talking about someone taking charge of a challenging situation. But why not? Take the elephant by the tusk, or take the alligator by the jaw. Well, if we turn to Greek mythology, we see a story that explains where the phrase comes from. In this myth, Hercules saves the island of Crete from a raging bull by seizing its horns. Over time, this phrase entered common use to mean taking control of a situation with the hope of being the hero, as Hercules was. If I were you, I would at some point have your mom look up Hercules movie and watch a little of Hercules with the mythology. It's really kind of fun. It's one of my favorite things. Land and animals. Greece is a land of rocky hills and mountains. In fact, almost 80% of Greece is mountainous. Because of this terrain, there are no rivers in the whole country that can be traveled down. There is a funny old Greek legend that tells the story of God creating the world. In the legend, God sifts all the soil onto the earth through a strainer. When he is done giving good soil to the surrounding countries, he throws the leftover rocks over his shoulder and creates Greece. While this is an amusing story, we know that God created every habitat intentionally and beautifully, and Greece is no exception. Its mountainous terrain provides homes for many mountain-dwelling animals, and her location on the Mediterranean, the Aegean, and Ionian seas provides habitat for various sea creatures. There are many beautiful animals we may encounter on our trip through Greece. On the island of Crete, you will find the Cretan spiny mouse, badgers, and cry goats, which is a protected species because of their number declining. The rocky mainland of Greece provides habitat for the beach marten and the protected Cypriot mouflon, thought to be an ancestor of a domestic sheep. Off the coast of Greece is the common-to-see loggerhead turtles and dolphins. A rare sight you might hope to see on your trip to the Mediterranean coast is the monk seal. These unique animals live in caves, and there are only 600 remaining in the wild today. These seals are so rare that when scientists discovered a new colony, they keep it a secret to protect the animals. A famous landmark is, chances are you've heard the name Acropolis. If you've ever studied ancient history or read a historical fiction book set in Greece, the Acropolis is found in Athens, and it has a history dating back to the Bronze Age of 3300 to 1200 BC. The most well-known of these remains is the enormous temple called the Parthenon, which dates back to the 5th century BC. The name Acropolis means high city, and as you might guess, it was built on a high ground and can be seen watching over the city of Athens still today. Although this Parthenon is the most well-known remains, there is more to see than just one temple. The Acropolis is the home to the Propolia and the Temple of Athena, Nike, and the Erection. Transportation. Transportation in Greece has grown and changed dramatically in recent times. Modern Greece has an impressive system of transportation, from trains and buses to ferries and airport. It has many international airports due to the high volume of foreign tourists each year. It wasn't always this easy to get around in Greece, though. With its mountainous and rocky terrain, roads were scarce and poorly built until the modern times, and most ancient Greeks did not travel very far from home. Although they had access to wagons and carts, most Greeks simply traveled by foot when leaving the city because it avoided the hassle of wagons on poorly built roads and inhospitable terrain. One activity break that you might do is look up some pictures of the various structures found on the Acropolis and find out what they were used for. And then we're going into food. A tour through Greece would be incomplete without many stops for delicious food. From Greek salad to Slovakia, and baklava, Greek food is relatively well-known worldwide. Greek food isn't only what you would find at the local mall for food court, though. Feta cheese, mimela is feta cheese wrapped in phyllo pastry and then baked in the oven and drizzled with honey. It can be served either as a dessert or as a main course. Mouskala is another Greek meal that is often underrated. The delicious meal is almost like a lasagna made with eggplant noodles. If you're looking for a quick power-packed snack, look no further than pastatelli, the Greek answer to an energy bar. These delicious treats are mainly made up of honey and sesame seeds, but can have other nuts added to increase the nutrition and taste. I think we've found what we need to pack for our quick snack if we leave the city. Want to know more about philosophy in Greece? The famous philosophers, the Platonists, Stoics, and Epicureans all came from this hotspot of ideas. The Bible records in Acts 17:21 that all the Athenians and the foreigners who lived there would spend their time in nothing except telling or hearing something new. The Apostle Paul was taken to Mars Hill, a rocky hill near the Acropolis, to share the new teachings of Jesus. Read Acts 17:16-34 and discuss how Paul was able to preach the gospel within this culture of academia. History and culture. We are familiar with the concept of a toga as an ancient Greek clothing, but what is considered traditional Greek clothing is very different than a toga. Both men and women wear sashes with baggy flowing clothes. The men typically have vests and baggy trousers or a kilt-like garment called fastinella, while the women wear headscarves and long skirts. Still today, the EV zones, the presidential guard in Greece, wear the traditional fastinella and wide-sleeve shirt with traditional footwear and sash. Want to know more about Greek culture? Did you know the Greeks have a high value for family and tradition? Traditionally, most families care for the aging members of their family in their homes, and it is common for Greek children to grow up with a grandparent or two living with them. It is also common for young people to remain living at home until they get married and for extended family to live close to one another. Imagine your entire family, grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins, all decided to move into the same neighborhood. How many houses would you need? This sounds like our family, actually. Greece played a large part in the history of the world. The city of Athens is one of the oldest cities in the world at over 7,000 years old. It has been well known for producing brilliant minds and for being full of new and revolutionary ideas for many of those years. It is the birthplace of democracy, Western philosophy, the Olympic Games, and major academic achievements in many areas. And that concludes our Lesson 5 for today.